Am I the asshole for cutting off my sister and telling her she is no longer welcome in my house after threatening to sue me? So I, 26 female, have a sister, 31 female, let's call her Jane. Jane is not my bio sister, but we grew up in the same household. For as long as I can remember, Jane has had this victim mentality. Mum died when she was young, Dad was never in the picture, but my mum and her aunt/godmother took her in. She lived with us for 13 years before she got married and moved to Idaho with her husband. We never had the best relationship growing up, but I assumed that it was just sibling rivalry, and we would grow out of it, like me and my baby sister, 25 female. My mum passed away in 2020, and Jane thought that it was only right that she inherit my mum's engagement ring, even after declaring at the funeral that my mum was not her mum, just a woman who helped raise her. That is so cold, oh my god. I then moved back into my parents' home because I felt bad for my dad and didn't want him to be alone. After converting the top floor of our 3-story home into a mini apartment for myself, Jane raised concerns that there would be no space for her to come home during Christmases. But we made do. My dad recently paid off the home, and I signed the deed over to me under the condition that he lived there rent-free until he dies, since I had been helping him pay the mortgage and would continue to pay the taxes on the home. I dismantled the apartment on the 3rd floor, making it once again a 5-bedroom home. However, 2 of the bedrooms that my sister used to occupy are now a walk-in closet and a room for my dogs. I added a pool, a new bathroom, renovated the kitchen, and turned the basement into a bar lounge area. Once this was completed, Jane asked me how we would split the sale of the home. I was confused as to what she meant. I was not selling my home. She stated that since my dad paid it off, that when he died, that the house would go to all of us, and we should just get ahead and sell the property now. Excuse me? I told her that I was not selling and that my dad signed it over to me. She then said that she would call someone to appraise the home and I would then have to buy her out and my little sister out. When I told her again that I owned the home, I was not selling, and she wasn't getting any money, she threatened to sue me. I told her to leave. A few weeks later, she called my dad to ask what the plans were for Christmas and if I was going to be staying in a hotel since I could not be cordial. The audacity. My dad told her that I would not be staying in a hotel, but she was still welcome to come and stay with us. I politely informed him that she nor her family were welcome to stay, and if he needed to stay with her over the holidays, he could also stay in a hotel. Now she's called my whole family and gone on a campaign of how evil I am for doing this over the holidays. Most of my family agrees with her, except a few who don't want to be involved, saying that she only said that she would sue me out of anger after realizing something else was taken from her. Her mum, her dad, my mum, now her childhood home. Which leads me to believe that maybe they are right. Am I being too harsh on her after all her struggles in life? Or is she simply just a bitch? Edit. Little sister is fine. Please stop worrying about her. She's not a problem. Hence why I didn't list everything she got from our mum or our dad. Update. I suggested that my dad stay in a hotel with Jane because he was insistent that she spend Christmas with him. I didn't say he couldn't live with me anymore. I don't think it's unreasonable to not want to be around someone who wanted to sue and may still try. I also got the engagement ring. I thought it was crazy that someone declared, "That's not my mum," but wanted her ring that my dad bought. Also, little sis got the wedding bands. Dad also gave Jane significant amounts of money to open her own bakery. Little sister took over his business. I got the home and the retirement, and life insurance will be split in 3 when or if he passes, cause he can't die, to be honest. In the comments, Broomrider31 says, "Not the arsehole. It was very kind of your parents to give her a home as a child, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she is entitled to inherit. Besides, your dad has already signed over the house to you, as it is mutually beneficial to you both. That means it's your house, period, but the part that really gets me is that she wants to go ahead and get it over with? That is an appalling mindset. Does she care about your dad and his wishes? Where does she expect him to live? To me, that just demonstrates that she just cares about herself and is trying for a money grab. Stand your ground. Presumably, she already inherited from both her bio parents, so why would she expect a share from her guardians as well? Let alone while one is still alive and living in the home that she wants to sell out from under him. She literally intended to turf Dad out of his own home so that she could profit after he lost his wife. She's a ghoul. OP replies, she did not inherit anything from her parents. My dad's side of the family has the money. It's my mum's side that she is from. Please kindly remind these folks that she is insisting that you sell the family home where she grew up so that she can get money. I guarantee you that the family got a completely different story. Oh, and not the asshole. Yeah, especially with that mini update that OP gave, where she already got quite a big chunk of money. She already got a lot from this family. This family being her family, yes too, but not in the way that she thinks. It's the same sentiment as dating a mom with a child, and her wanting you to take fatherly responsibility for the child, but also being like, hey, you can't make any decisions for this kid. That's not your kid. Screw you. Oh yeah, I want this woman's wedding ring that I say is my mum, but I will declare that she is not my mum. But also my quote-unquote dad is going to give me significant amounts of money to open my own bakery. And then I think that also entitles me to forcing him to sell the house that he's in right now. I'm delusional, yeah. I'm Jane. I got bugs in my brain. I'm hating everything about Jane right now. And the fact that she's threatening to sue is just disgusting. It's going to waste everyone's time. It's going to waste everyone's money just because Jane is a money-hungry leech that is ungrateful for everything she has been given in life. She's gotten everything and she still wants more. She is part of what is wrong with this world. Definitely not the arsehole OP. I don't know what the answer is, but if you have to go to court, I guess you have to go to court. And now, onto the update, 1 month later. The family wedding was over the weekend and everything there was great. No drama, I kept my distance from Jane. The bride was not outstaged at all. Well, not by me and the drama at least. However, Sunday after the wedding, my aunt Renee called me to ask if I would be coming to dinner to celebrate Christmas early since Jane was in town and would not be coming for the actual holiday. I politely declined, said that I would send the children's gift with my dad, but that there was no need to go and pretend that I was over Jane's behavior. My aunt then said I would be too upset if you refused to give me my share, but gave little sister her share. That really shows a divide. I asked her to say that again because I think I hallucinated. Jane has really been out here saying that I split the house with my little sister when I did not. I explained to my aunt what actually happened, and then my dad confirmed the information that I gave. My aunt was shocked. Not only had Jane lied to her and the whole family, she also lied and said my dad never gave her anything. Oh my god, I'm so shocked that Jane would lie. What? He gave me the house, my little sister his business, and Jane a lump sum of money to start her bakery since she had no interest in running the family business. Jane is currently staying with Aunt Renee, but Renee is now upset and feels duped into this whole mess. Renee and my dad are both upset with Jane, but still believe that I should forgive and forget and move forward. Renee is going to talk to Jane tomorrow before she leaves to go back to Idaho, but I'm not sure that it will do anything. Not a great/entertaining update, but I guess I felt compelled to finish the story. At this point, I don't care if I'm the asshole. I was surprised by the amount of comments saying that I was, but I don't need any more stress from these people. In the comments, Hell and Damnation says, I'm always amused by people who say forgive and forget. I can guarantee that no one ever forgets. You're not the asshole. Why should anyone forgive and forget when there is no apology or remorse? It always gets to me how long people take to correct the record in these stories. It's always stories where one person is obviously so wrong, and the OP never bats an eye that somehow countless people are on their side while having all the facts. Does anybody talk to each other? What the actual hell? How do these people just accept this? How do they not immediately ask, what did they tell you, when people seem to support insanity? I think it's some misunderstanding of what rising above and not starting a fight means. Or maybe I'm the one misunderstanding. I don't know. If rising above means letting people tell lies about me and tell me what I should do while never asking why or correcting them, I will stay below. You can be polite and still stand up for yourself. I don't know why so many people seem to think polite equals doormat. My headcanon theory is that a lot of people never really had to face true adversity like this before, and that it's genuinely something new to them. I know I'm naive, I know I'm ignorant, absolutely, I accept that, I am biased. But I genuinely think a lot of these people that don't interact with, I guess, relationship advice content, they are just ignorant of how scheming and conniving people can be. And I think they give them the benefit of the doubt, or they're that subsect of people that think, oh, but, I know it happens, but it won't happen to me. And then when it does happen to them, they're like, holy shit, how could someone do that? That is so evil. Like OP here, not getting ahead of the narrative, and not even asking the auntie what happened, what was she told. I feel like it's just something that's going to keep repeating in situations like this, and it's so simple to kind of get ahead of this. But I guess we see stories like this time and time again, and it's just not an intuitive thought. It's just not something that people do. But oh well, it makes for good entertainment, and I'm here for it. So thank you, OP, for the story. Thank you for the update. And I hope you kick Jane out of your life. And I hope you encourage others to kick her out of their lives as well, because she is a leech. And I'd love to know what you guys think about this one. Our next post is by user Throw Away Cake, titled, My friends with benefits said I love you during sex. I, 19 female, have been hooking up with one of my close friends, 19 male, for about 2 months. We've been friends since we were 12, so telling each other I love you isn't strange for us, and is something that we've done countless times before. However, this was the first time that it's happened during sex, and I don't know what that means. Last night, we were having sex in missionary position. It had been a really intimate and sweet night. Lots of kissing and foreplay, very gentle movements. You get the idea. When he was getting close, he told me that he loved me. His head was buried in my neck, but I could still hear him clearly. I wasn't uncomfortable or anything, let me be clear. I thought it was really sweet, and I said it back. He then moved his head to look at me, and he smiled, then kissed me and finished. I had already finished before him. Then, while we were cuddling afterwards, he brought it up and seemed a bit embarrassed. He apologized and explained that it just slipped out in the heat of the moment, but I assured him there was nothing to be sorry for and that I thought that it was really sweet. Now I keep replaying this moment and his reaction to me, saying it back in my head, and I'm wondering if there is more to it. He seemed genuinely in awe that I said it back, which doesn't make sense because I've told him that I loved him multiple times before, and I really don't know why he was embarrassed unless he meant it more than an I love you as a friend type of way. Is this something that I should talk to him more about? Because I'm not gonna lie, I think I may have caught feelings. So if he feels the same, then I would love to know. I just don't want to make things awkward or embarrass him again, or myself. Does this mean that he has feelings for me, and should I talk to him about it? In the comments, Decripe says, yes, he has feelings for you. Then you said it back. He took it to me that you were reciprocating. If you're not ready for a relationship with him, then you need to speak with him ASAP. Sex and feeling can be hard to separate for some people. Actually, most people. Just make sure to let him down easy that you don't want anything more than friends with benefits for now. OP says, thank you for your advice. If he wants a relationship, then so do I, so I will be talking to him soon. Well then, it sounds like you're already in a relationship, but neither of you realize it yet. It's a beautiful thing. Diggsy Dinner says, you've been friends for years, now having sex, and he says he loves you. If I had to guess, I'd say he wants a proper relationship. You should be able to communicate without feeling awkward and find out if this is what you both want. If he doesn't want a relationship, okay, you have a little bit of awkwardness, but with the time you've known each other, you should both be able to get over this. For what it's worth, I've never said I love you during sex to someone that I didn't want a relationship with. And OP says, thank you for your advice. I'll text him and ask him to meet up. Yeah, sounds to me like they're in a relationship. Let's call a spade here, guys. I think a relationship is coming in the update. And now, on to the update. I was not expecting my post to get much attention. Many people have asked for an update, so I decided to make a separate post for that. I tried posting it to the sub, but before I give the update, I do want to address a couple of things. Before I turned my chats off, as some people are very strange, I got a few DMs asking how we got together in the first place, and I didn't know if other people were curious about that as well. We both grew up in very conservative and sex-negative households. Basically, our only sex education was simply, don't do it. So sex had been a weird topic for both of us for some time. We were in the same homeschool group, and that's how we met and became friends. A few months ago, we ended up talking and decided to give our virginities to each other, which then progressed into a friends with benefits relationship, and so far, we've only slept with each other. I also tend to be a very oblivious person when it comes to people having feelings for me. Even when the signs are obvious, blaring in all caps neon letters, I'm still like, I wonder what they mean by that. Or not even give it another thought. I know it's bad, and I've been trying to work on it, but sometimes I still miss. Okay, now what you've been waiting for. I really sat down with myself and thought hard about how I feel, and I figured out that I do love him. Like, I'm pretty down bad, to be honest. So I texted him and asked if we could meet up and chat, like y'all recommended. So we ended up hanging out at his apartment like usual, and just did random things at first. Had some food, watched some funny videos on YouTube, stuff like that. And then I asked him if we could talk. I started off by telling him that when I said I love you back last night, I meant it, and I always have. Then I asked him what he meant when he told me that he loved me, and that I just want us to be honest with each other. Because I love him and nothing could change that. I could tell he was a bit nervous, so I held his hand and that seemed to help. He started talking, and he admitted that he is in love with me. He told me that he had a crush on me when we were younger, but he figured that it would go away eventually, and he thought it did. But when we started having sex, the feelings came back, or he started noticing them all over again. And last night was really emotional for him, so the words just slipped out without him thinking about it. He told me he got really excited when I said it back, but then he figured that I didn't mean it that way. That's why he reacted the way he did. I could tell he was still really nervous now. I told him I meant it and that I'm in love with him too. The look on his face. We were both very happy and relieved. We talked some more and agreed to be official and exclusive. We then kissed some and did some other things. Some tears may have been shed. It was a very emotional time. So yeah, happy to report a happy ending here. In the comments, Juz Wondon says, realizing you're in love with someone after you screw them and tell them you love them is hilarious. Only young people could be reciprocally telling someone they love them for years, be having sex with this person, then reciprocally tell them that they love them during sex, and still be worried this person might not like them back. I kind of miss it, but Jesus, being in your late teens and early 20s is kind of like having an emotional disorder. We've known each other since we were preteens, we're very close, and the other day he told me he loved me while he was balls deep inside me. I think he might have feelings for me, or am I reading too much into this? To be young, dumb, and homeschooled. Oh, what a time to be alive. That was a pretty good one, I like that. I'm glad that we had such a nice happy ending. Who's looking forward to some more emotional roller coasters from here on out? What is this communicative, beautiful exchange between two people having feelings for each other and being transparent? We don't do that here. Thank you for the story, OP. That was amazing, and I'm glad that you guys got through that one together. Everyone came together in the end, huh? Our next post is by user TA Work Sister, titled, Am I the asshole for calling my coworker work sister after she called me work husband in front of everyone? I, 34 male, work in a small office, and we have about 30 people working here. Mary, 35 female, is one of my co-workers. We've been working together for 6 years now. We have 6 people in our department, and we have to frequently travel across the state as our work involves overseeing government projects. We always travel in a group of 2, although my travel partner changes based on the project. Mary and I are generally put on similar projects and each enjoy each other's company. My wife also likes Mary. Overall, we have a very healthy work relationship. On to the incident. Yesterday, we had a happy hour in the office and we were all drinking after work hours and chatting. It was a group of around 10 people that stayed back. Mary was blabbering about how we both have been traveling together so much in the last year. She was roasting me for my habits while traveling, like always forgetting stuff in my hotel room, being sweaty and stinky when I join her for breakfast in the mornings because I go to the hotel gym. Everyone was laughing and she was telling everyone how unbearable I was to tag along with, all in good fun. I also told some funny and sweet stories about her and agreed with her, saying that I can be difficult to be with sometimes. Mary came to me and hugged me tightly and told me that she loves me and that I am her work husband. It was all innocent on the surface, but she might have been a bit drunk and just didn't let go of her tight hug. Also, I hate that phrase, as I do have a wife that I promise to be with forever and not just in non-working hours. After a few seconds, I started becoming uncomfortable and also saw a few people staring at us. So to diffuse the situation, I took her hands off of my shoulder and told her that she was my work sister, and that is why I love to annoy her so much. That seemed to have upset Mary, and she left and went back to her desk and was sobbing silently. I tried to apologize to her, but she told me how embarrassing the whole situation was. She said that she just meant work husband in a platonic way, but me calling her work sister made her sound like a creep in front of the whole office. She was also angry that I aggressively removed her hands from my shoulders while hugging. I tried to reason with her that I do not like the work husband phrase, and also people gave dirty looks when she said it, so I was just trying to make sure people don't take her words in the wrong way. We talked for a few minutes afterwards and Mary calmed down. She hugged me again and then left. I felt really guilty afterwards because I can see Mary's point. I made her sound like a creep by implying that she meant something inappropriate when she called me her work husband. However, I was a bit uncomfortable in that situation and just didn't want people to call us that, or assume something wrong. Am I the asshole for calling Mary my work sister? I'm sitting in my office writing this and am a bit worried if I embarrassed Mary in front of everyone. In the comments, Oddly Quirky says, I think you meant to ask in your last sentence if you're the asshole for calling her your work sister, not work wife. Regardless, no, you're not the asshole. All too often, work spouses end up being inappropriately involved, and you are trying to head off any rumors. Good on you. I think your work sister is a much better term. And OP says, thanks for catching the typo. I'm too nervous this morning to face her. Charming Function says, you didn't do anything wrong. Not the asshole. To my mind, she raises a red flag by being so upset about it. It meant more to her than it did to you. You may need to set a boundary of not traveling with her. Sinho says, it sounded like she may be in love with OP. She reacted as if he friend-zoned her. Hummus says, not the asshole. Though you're being far too generous. The reason why she jumped straight to thinking that you were calling her a creep is because she knows what she was doing was inappropriate. Work husband is considered widely inappropriate now, and she knows this. You responded correctly. You owe your actual wife loyalty. Mary needs to back off and act more of a professional. Yeah, Mary going off to sob and then deflect and say, actually, no, you're the one embarrassing me. What the hell? Mary, get your drunk ass home. What is happening with you? You know what you're doing, Mary. You're hugging him like that. You're putting your hands all over his shoulders tightly, and everyone's giving you a dirty look. You know, if looks could make you dirty, those looks would make you filthy. So I don't buy it. Don't feel bad, OP. You're not the asshole for setting boundaries with Mary here. She's an asshole for her stupid reaction to this and trying to make you feel bad for something that she started and she perpetuated. Not the asshole at all. And now, onto the update, posted 5 days later. So I posted this on about calling my coworker Mary my work sister after she tried to call me her work husband in front of the entire office. A lot of you are asking for an update, but the sub doesn't allow me to post one, so I'm writing it here. Thanks for everyone for your comments and giving me confidence. I did not do anything wrong or inappropriate. As I was sitting in my office the next day, I knew things would be a bit awkward between Mary and I. Mary ignored me the whole morning. Initially, I was planning to go and apologize to her, but after the post, I decided that I don't need to do that, as I should be the one who was offended. Everyone in the office could see that we were acting weird, and I heard some people gossiping about us. One of the ladies also came to me and asked me if I wanted to talk about Mary and I. At around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I was sitting in my office working. Mary came into my office and closed the door behind her. She was angry at me and started saying that I need to stop being an asshole and stop ignoring her. I told her to sit and talk about what is going on. She told me that she feels humiliated and everyone has been staring at her the whole morning because of what I did. I also stood my ground and told her that I was okay with her making fun of me, but calling me her work husband and hugging me in front of everyone for a long time made the situation awkward. She told me to get over myself and that I should know exactly what she meant. Mary said that I made a big deal of what was supposed to be a joke and then made it awkward for everyone. She said calling someone work husband is a normal thing and just means that she knows me intimately like a spouse would. She said that because we spend so much time traveling together, she knows all of the intimate details of how I behave outside of work. I stopped her and told her that I felt offended by the term work husband because I have a wife and I don't want people to use that term to describe our relationship. I told her that she would not understand as she is single, but as a married man, I really don't want anyone to describe me as a husband in any capacity. She said that I am again misinterpreting what she was saying. She felt that as we have known each other for more time than I've been married, she knows me more intimately than even my wife. I have no idea why she feels that way, and that I also behave like her husband when we travel together. She went on about how we go out to dinners together after work, how I always insist on having breakfast together in the morning, to plan our actions of the day, and I walk around in my underwear, referring to my gym shorts, around her in the mornings. She also talked about how we spend hours talking to each other during road trips, and how I'm the only man she can trust with any secret in her life. She said that I am the definition of work husband, and I'm just in denial. I was a bit angry at this point. I told her that I do all of that because I consider her my friend, and she is delusional if she feels she knows me more intimately than my wife. I told her I do not want to hear that term again, and it is extremely disrespectful to my marriage. Only one woman gets to call me her husband, and that is my wife. Moreover, if my actions are giving her such ideas, maybe we need to stop being friends. She became apologetic afterwards and told me that she didn't mean to disrespect my wife, and it was not her intention. She apologized to me and told me to just let it go. She said that she loves traveling with me, and she doesn't want to change anything between us. She again said that I am misinterpreting her statement and just wants to move on. She came to hug me again, but I told her that it was okay and stepped back. I also talked to my wife about the incident that night. As expected, my wife was angry at Mary and told me that she hates the term work husband. She asked me if Mary has ever flirted with me during our trips or has a crush on me. I truthfully told her that I really have not felt that way, and she may have just said that because she was a bit drunk and is now being stubborn about it. My wife said that she feels a bit uncomfortable about Mary now and says that it's strike one for Mary and that I need to try and put more distance between us while traveling. If she ever repeats the same behavior again, I should report her to Human Resources. I promised my wife that I would try to reduce my interactions with Mary outside of work hours and be more guarded around her. Update: thanks everyone for the comments and explaining the urgency of the situation. I discussed it with my wife and have set up meetings with my manager and HR today. I plan to not file a complaint, but to document what happened last week and why it made me uncomfortable. I don't have any upcoming travel this week due to holidays, but have to travel next Tuesday with her at a work site. I'll discuss with my manager on what my options are. However, I also feel a little distance between Mary and me for some time would be the right solution for now. In the comments, Otherwise Beat says, "Not the arsehole. I agree you should go to HR so they're aware of the situation. I would also suggest no more business trips with her if possible. The fact that she claims to know you more intimately than your wife is not only delusional and disrespectful, it's concerning. She's only beginning to show her crazy side. Also, she said that you walk around in your underwear. Mary's description of your relationship sounds really clingy and dependent. She has created a narrative in her head about your connection, and the part where she says the only man she can trust with any secret in her life, that is not a work husband, whatever that means. You better keep your interactions register and public. This can bite you in the ass very fast." Not the arsehole. I agree with your wife that you should report this to HR just to cover your ass. Agreed. It's obvious your coworker is up for something else. Also, to avoid arguments between you and your wife regarding this one, listen to her and report your coworker to HR. And now, onto the update 2 months later. I wrote a while ago regarding my coworker friend Mary being upset with me for calling her my work sister when she called me her work husband in front of everyone. I'm sorry to leave everyone hanging, but the next few weeks were busy and the issue was eventually resolved. Thanks to everyone for the comments, they really helped me realize when I talked to my manager about the situation. However, the last week has been crazy, so I wanted to get some opinions on what I should do next. After my last post, my wife and I were no longer comfortable with Mary's behavior. Although a part of me thought that I was overreacting and that it was just a part of Mary's personality, I felt the need to protect myself. I requested a meeting with my manager and HR to document my side of the story. I wrote down everything and told them about the incident at the party, as well as Mary's coming into my office and the comments that she made. I made it clear that while I don't want them to take action against her, I wanted to emphasize that her behavior made me uncomfortable, especially her comments about knowing me better than my wife and the remarks about my shorts. My manager had already heard about the incident at the happy hour, as everyone in the office was talking about it. He told me he would try to shake up the travel schedule to minimize our travel together. The issue was that only 4 people in our company generally work on off-site audits, and the other 2 co-workers did not want to split up because they claimed they worked well together. As a result, I continued traveling with Mary for the next couple of weeks, but it was awkward and I kept my distance. My manager then called Mary and me to his office and informed us that he was planning to train a new auditor, Carolina, 26 female, and set up a schedule where she would travel with me for 1 week and then with Mary the following week. We were asked to train her. I liked this arrangement because it meant that I no longer had to travel with Mary. Carolina turned out to be a great travel buddy, and I made sure not to get too comfortable with her. I always dressed professionally when we went for breakfasts, avoided late-night drinks, and maintained healthy boundaries. Things were great until last week. Last Tuesday, I could feel everyone staring at me when I entered the office, and I was immediately called to a meeting with my manager and HR. HR asked if I had anything to report regarding Carolina and if she had made any advances toward me during our work trips. I told them no, that Carolina had been very professional the entire time. I asked why I was being interrogated, and they told me they couldn't disclose any further details, but that Carolina was being investigated by HR for inappropriate conduct. I left the meeting, and Mary came to my office, asking what had happened. She mentioned that she was also told that Carolina would no longer be traveling with us, and that we were asked to travel together again. I told her that I had no idea what was going on. I messaged Carolina to see if she was okay and if she needed to talk. She asked if she could come to my office, and I agreed. Carolina explained that someone anonymously sent messages to her boyfriend posing as someone from the office over the weekend. The message included screenshots of Carolina sending some inappropriate pictures that she had taken in her hotel rooms during our travels, and flirtatious messages. This person claimed to be her boyfriend that Carolina was trying to cheat with him at work, and he was just trying to warn them. Her boyfriend went crazy after seeing the pictures, ghosted her, and then sent the messages to HR as revenge. Carolina was in tears, telling me that she had only taken those pictures for her boyfriend and had no idea how they got leaked or how those messages even existed. Her boyfriend was furious because he also received the exact pictures from Carolina and knew that they weren't fake. I consoled Carolina, but she's in deep trouble, as our workplace takes such things very seriously, because we work on government contracts, and I'm sure everyone suspects that I am the anonymous messenger. I was told that the matter would be investigated, and Mary and I would be working together on the project again. My manager said that there was nothing he could do, and also mentioned that they might go through my emails and my messages on my company phone as a part of the investigation into Carolina. Mary seems very happy about the whole situation, and keeps talking about how excited she is to revisit the restaurants and bars that we used to frequent during off-site trips. She also keeps referring to Carolina as that pervert. The whole thing is just crazy. My wife, of course, believes that I would never do anything inappropriate with Carolina and that I wasn't the anonymous messenger. However, her conspiracy theory is that Mary, who was also traveling with Carolina, may have unlocked her phone and accessed the photos. It feels far-fetched, but the fact is, I'm not thrilled about traveling with Mary again. I don't think I have any other recourse to get off this project except leaving the job, which isn't possible at this time. I know many of you work in HR, and I would appreciate any advice on what I can do next. In the comments, Sad Hippos says, "It was totally Mary. That's both terrifying and so creepy. I feel really bad for Carolina. I do not work in HR, but I would absolutely report again to your manager what Mary has been saying regarding the trips and her turn of phrase about Carolina as the situation continues. Write down her phrases and comments with dates and timestamps. You need to set very hard walls with Mary. Only ever contact her on the work phone and ensure that you are not alone together unless it is in a very public place, preferably with cameras. I'm so sorry that you're dealing with this, but I'm really glad that you and your wife's relationship has not been affected by it. Stay strong, you did nothing wrong here." DJ Purity says, "Yeah, there's something about Mary that's off. It feels far-fetched. It really doesn't. There's two options. 1. Carolina sent the messages to her boyfriend from a burner account, or 2. Mary hacked her phone. As only you and Mary have traveled with her and it wasn't you, then which of the two options makes the most sense? Does Mary have a PIN code on her phone? Is she protective about hiding it? Most aren't. If you leave your phone to go to the toilet, someone can go into the Chrome settings and copy your user and password for your email, photos, etc., and access them at any time. And now, onto the latest update, posted 3.5 months later. I wrote a post 6 months ago regarding calling my coworker Mary work sister and upsetting her in the process. Things got really weird afterwards, and I was paired with another coworker, Carolina, for work trips. Someone anonymously tipped her boyfriend that Carolina was engaged in messaging explicit pictures to her coworker, and he in turn reported her to our HR as revenge before breaking off with her. No one explicitly said it, but I could see that everyone suspected me to be the other person. After that, Mary and I again were asked to travel together despite my reservations, mostly because others did not want to travel with me. I'm sorry that I didn't write an update because nothing noteworthy happened until last Friday, and my wife Brooke and I have been arguing ever since about what to do next. I have been applying for similar positions in the last few months, but it's hard to find a similar job in this market. Brooke has expressed her reservations on me traveling with Mary, but also understands that I would stop traveling with her if I could. We have bills and a mortgage, and I cannot just leave my job. Just like most commenters on the previous post, she believes that Mary framed Carolina. I have been extremely professional with Mary during our travels. Things are not as before, where I would consider her my close friend. I am always guarded around her and try to spend most of my time in my room after work. Carolina stuck around for around a month after I wrote the post, when the HR was investigating the incident. I tried to support her initially, and also told my manager that she has been very professional. However, rumors started spreading around that I am going above and beyond to save her job, and she spent a lot of time in my office talking to me alone. We mutually decided that the optics were not good and started distancing ourselves. She resigned a month after the incident because she told me that she cannot take it anymore. From what I know, she is still looking for a job. Mary, on the other hand, seems to be happy on our work trips. Although I act extremely professional around her, a part of me knows that she might be the person who framed Carolina. I have no proof, it's just intuition. I also feel that Mary is the one spreading rumors about Carolina and me in the office. She always plans for dinners after work and sometimes asks me to get a drink at the hotel as before. I generally avoid drinking on these trips now. There were a few times where she was insistent that I get a beer, but I told her that I'm already on thin ice at work, and I promised Brooke that I would not drink on these trips. This has not stopped her from getting hammered and me having to drop her to her room at the end of the day a few times. Brooke has been very supportive throughout the whole time and has never once suspected me or blamed me for anything. She has asked me to not drink on these trips and also to make sure that I call her every night when I reach my room and when I go to sleep. I also voluntarily installed location tracking apps on my phone so that she has peace of mind to know where I am during these trips. On to the incident from last Friday. We had a Christmas party last Friday at our office. Brooke joined me, and the party was great. Mary asked me for a dance, but I declined, and Mary didn't look thrilled about it. Brooke was lovely, and we danced together for most of the night. There was one point where I was talking to my manager and a few other colleagues, and Brooke was talking to my manager's wife. Mary interrupted them and started bragging about how she has to take care of me during work trips since I am just so clumsy. Brooke joined in on how clumsy and forgetful I am at home. Mary then told Brooke that I make her feel safe on the trips and told her about the incident where she got drunk and how I took care of her by dropping her to her room and sitting by her bedside until she fell asleep. Mary insisted that I'm a gentleman and that nothing happened, but how I also show care for her. Brooke knew about the incidents when I dropped her to her room. However, at no time did I enter Mary's room. Brooke didn't say anything at that time, but when we got home, this turned into a huge argument. I told Brooke that I didn't enter her room and just led her to the room, and immediately called her and told her about the incident. I even showed her the text conversation where I messaged Brooke after leaving the restaurant and when I got to the room along with timestamps. After Brooke calmed down, she told me that she believes me, but it's crazy how fluently Mary lied to her in front of my manager's wife. She told me that Mary is just trying to plant a seed of doubt in her head and that she cannot pretend anymore that she is okay with Mary. She told me that Mary ruined Carolina's career, and if she doesn't get her way, she might do the same to me. Brooke has asked me if I can draw a red line on traveling with Mary, and if my manager does not accept, I should just resign. I feel like Brooke is right, and nothing is more important to me than her. However, it feels so shitty to be in this situation where all my hard work to reach this point in my career will be ruined. I don't know what to do next. I'm really hoping to get advice and ideas on what I can do here. I just feel so trapped, and I'm not sure what I can do at this point. And in the comments, New One Form says, "You really need to stop engaging with Mary at all, other than what is necessary to do your job. You don't need to babysit her or get her to her room. You're kinda making it easy for her to raise suspicions in others. Do your job, then get back to your hotel room. You don't need to organize meals with her. You seem like you're still trying to be nice to Mary, which leads it to be easy for her to play you. And start making a paper trail." RO224 says, "Actually, I think a condition of future trips is to be in separate hotels. With separate hotels comes separate travel to wherever you have to go. You can go back to your hotel to eat, etc., so you'll have far fewer interactions with her. Bond42 says, tell your manager the truth, even about suspicions. You can say, I have no proof, but I do have suspicions that Mary framed Carolina, and I'm worried that she may do the same to me. I feel sexually harassed, and this is causing problems in my marriage. Your nuclear option is to threaten to sue your job for hostile work environment sexual harassment. Don't resign without a plan to sue. Seriously, you need legal or union advice. The man needs to use the incident with the boss's wife against Mary. If he goes up to his boss and tells him, hey, Mary is literally lying about what's happening on our work trips, not just to my wife, but to your wife. I had to go home and provide proof to my wife that what she said isn't happening. I can't go on these trips anymore. As a married man, I hope you can understand that. Boss literally has the wife to act as a witness to what she said, and regardless of if he believes it actually happened that way or not, he should understand that a line was crossed. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.